for this webinar, we have Massey University today. And for this webinar, we don't have only one presenter, we have two presenters. Mike, who is a senior recruitment manager from Massey University, and Charlie, who is a regional director from Myanmar from Kaplan International Pathway. So firstly, for the webinar, Mike or Charlie will give you a brief introductions about Q&A sessions. And in the Q&A sessions, if you have any question related to New Zealand or Massey University, you can ask them directly, either via voice message, or you can type it in chat box. You can ask in Burmese or English as well, because if you ask in Burmese, Charlie know the Burmese. So we will translate it for you. If you ask in Burmese, we'll translate it for you. If you have ask in English, of course, they will understand, and they will answer all your questions. So if you don't have any question, just make sure you have questions after the webinar. So let's get started. So over to you now. Welcome, Charlie, and welcome, Mike.
Thanks, David, for the introduction. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Yeah, we wish to make this a very interactive session, and please do ask us any questions you have, either in the chat box or at the end of the presentation. So now Mike will start off giving you some introduction on New Zealand and also Massey University. Over to you, Mike.
Thanks, Shirley. David, could you just put on screen sharing for me, because I've got a PowerPoint to show. David? Well, that's all right. I can start talking while we're waiting for David to come back. So as David said, my name's Mike, and I am the Senior Manager for Student Recruitment at Massey University. Hi, David. Could you just pop on screen sharing for me so I can share my PowerPoint?
Yeah, you can share now. You can share now.
Oh, awesome. Here we go. There we go. Everybody see that? Okay, so hello and welcome. Or as we would say in Aotearoa, New Zealand, kia ora koutou. I've worked at Massey for about 10 years, and I'm very excited to be presenting to students from Myanmar, because this is the first time I've ever been able to present to any students from Myanmar, so it's fantastic, really exciting for me. Thank you to David and Expert Education for the opportunity. I think I'd like to start off with a very short video about what it's like to study in New Zealand. There we go.
Our world is changing, and our world needs new, because new doesn't just think about the world's problems, it cares. New acts boldly to solve challenges, but never forgets the importance of people.
It just opens my eyes to a much wider opportunities.
New is prepared for today and ready to create tomorrow.
I learned about identity, about myself.
New welcomes open minds and different perspectives.
The thing that surprised me the most is the diversity of culture here.
New is progressive and never stops learning.
Qualifications in New Zealand are recognized worldwide.
New is the problem solvers, the go-getters, the innovators, the big thinkers. New is a New Zealand education, and new is what the world needs.
So it looks pretty good, right? So it's getting kind of late here in New Zealand. It's about 7:30 at night, and I don't want to do all the work here, so I'm going to give a bit of work for you guys to do, a little bit of stuff for you to be thinking about as I'm talking about New Zealand. And the first thing I want you to think about is, what do you think about when you hear New Zealand? Maybe it's our unique indigenous Maori culture. It might be sheep. We have a lot of sheep in New Zealand. We also have a lot of cows. We are a big farming country. Food production is a huge part of New Zealand industry. Maybe you've seen New Zealand and you don't even realize it. If you've seen Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, or any of the other fantasy films that have been popular in the past sort of 10 or 20 years, the chances are pretty high they were filmed in New Zealand, and we have some fantastic, spectacular scenery. But maybe you've never heard of New Zealand, or maybe you don't even know where we are. It's quite a famous joke in New Zealand that we are always left off maps of the world. So I have a map of the world here, which I have remembered to keep New Zealand on. So if you can see, we've got Australia here, and we are next to Australia, but we are not Australia. Very important difference. We are a country of about 5 million people, spread across loads of different islands, but the two main islands are the North Island and the South Island. And here at Massey University, we are based in the North Island of New Zealand, and we have 3 campuses in Auckland, Palmerston North, and Wellington. We are a progressive, safe, and beautiful country, and we're one of the top destinations for students who are looking to study internationally in English. We're #1 in the English-speaking countries at preparing students for the future. We are the 2nd most peaceful country in the world. We're the 8th most prosperous country in the world. And we're 4th in the world for gender equality. We were famously the 1st country in the world to give women the vote. And one of the best things about New Zealand is no matter who you are, or where you're from, or what you believe, or what you enjoy, there's a place for you here. We're lucky to have stunningly beautiful countryside, from incredible mountains to miles and miles of beaches. Our cities are voted the best place to live in the world year after year, and we're a safe, multicultural society. And I've got another little short video here, a little bit about studying in Auckland, which is the biggest city in New Zealand. It's where I'm based in New Zealand, and it's where one of our campuses for Massey University is based. So I've got another video for you here. Here we go. Hopefully this one plays.
Hello.
So alongside all that beautiful scenery, we have some of the best restaurants, some of the best shopping, and some of the best cities in the world to live in. I'll talk a little bit more now about Massey itself. So as I mentioned, Massey is spread across 3 campuses, and we're the only university in New Zealand to have 3 campuses. Ooh, let's find the right slide. Here we go. So starting from the top, we have our campus in Auckland. Auckland is the biggest city in New Zealand, and there's about 1 million people there, but it's quite a spread out city. It's not very densely built up. It's quite a relaxed feel to it, very multicultural city. Our Auckland campus focuses on business in particular, also sciences, nursing, and it's also where our Foundation Pathways College is based. Moving down the country, we've got Palmerston North. Palmerston North is where the original campus for Massey University is based. Palmerston North is a large agricultural town, so it's not surprising that the focus of the campus in Palmerston North is on agriculture or veterinary science, food technology, all those things that are really important to New Zealand industry and the economy. And then right down the bottom of the North Island, we've got Wellington. And Wellington is the capital city of New Zealand. Sometimes people call it the cool little capital. because it's not a huge city. There's about 400, 500,000 people, but it's really beautiful, really compact city. You can walk around easily. It's also the cultural center of the country. So it's where all the best art galleries and concerts and cafes are. And it's also the home of our College of Creative Arts in Wellington. Wellington is the home of the New Zealand film industry, and our College of Creative Arts is very closely tied with the New Zealand film industry. So I'm just going to jump back forward a couple of slides. I'll talk really briefly about rankings. All universities like to talk about rankings, and although they're important, I don't think it really tells you what it's like to study at a university. But our rankings are really good. We are in the top 3% of universities in the world, currently at 292. And in some of our particular subjects, we are ranked particularly highly. We're top 29 in veterinary science. And we're actually now top 28 in development studies. That hasn't been updated yet with the most recent QS rankings. Top 100 for communication and media studies, top 150 for nursing, arts, design, top 200 for architecture, built environment, geography, accounting, finance, and education. So you can be sure that if you're studying at Massey, you're getting a world-class education. And you can also see that with the hundreds of accreditations, partnerships, and associations we have with organizations all around the world in all areas, from aviation to design to business. So we're split into actually 6 colleges. There's 5 on here. We'll talk a little bit about the Pathways College later on in the presentation. We've got Massey Business School, the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, College of Creative Arts, College of Health, and our largest college, the College of Sciences. We offer hundreds of programs, and I could spend a long, long time explaining all of them to you. I'm not going to do that. We don't have a lot of time. So I've actually gone through our list of programs and tried to pick some of the ones that I think will be most interesting to you guys in Myanmar. But just to give you a brief overview, this is some of the popular programs we offer at Massey: business, construction, engineering, agriculture, microbiology, information sciences. And you'll notice that the theme for a lot of these programs is that they're very industry focused. They're very focused on career, and that's the aim of Massey. It's to create graduates who are able to go on and work in their careers from the day they leave and the day they graduate from university. And you can see that with how many of our programs lead into careers that are on the Immigration New Zealand green list. If you don't know what the green list is, in New Zealand, we have very, very high employment, and we have huge shortages in certain areas for skilled graduates and skilled employees like yourselves. And to help with these shortages, the Immigration New Zealand have put together a list of certain jobs where if you are qualified in that area and you have an offer for one of those jobs, you can basically get fast-tracked to have residency in New Zealand. And many of the programs that we offer at Massey lead into these careers. So if you're thinking maybe in the long term you might quite like to live in New Zealand, then studying at Massey is a fantastic choice because we offer a lot of qualifications that will allow you to get residency really, really quickly. And that's what I'm going to focus on today. I've picked a few of the careers on the green list, and I've picked some of the qualifications at Massey that lead into those careers. So first up, we've got food technology. And I mentioned in one of my early slides about sheep and cows and about food. Food production is an enormous part of New Zealand culture and New Zealand industry and our economy. One of the lecturers at the food tech school actually said to me once that New Zealand is a country with a food production industry attached to it. And I think we're a little bit more than that, but I think he had a good point. Food production is incredibly important in New Zealand, and qualified food technologists, qualified product development technologists, and qualified engineers are always in short supply. And if that's something that interests you, if you're interested in microbiology, if you're interested in food production, then our Bachelor of Food Technology, which is a 4-year honors degree, is the perfect pathway into that industry. This is one of the main areas of focus for Massey, and we have 50 years experience in this area. Ours is the only degree in Australasia that combines science, engineering, and business. So our graduates are not only able to work on the science side of things or theoretical or academic side of things, they know how to apply the techniques that they learn in a business setting and in a company, which is incredibly attractive to employers, both in New Zealand and around the rest of the world. Our school's ranked in the top 75 worldwide. And because of that, it's no surprise that we're recognized by institutions and organizations around the world. We have our own food pilot plants on campus, including a microbrewery and our microbiology plant. And I was talking to one of my colleagues a couple of weeks ago, and she said, "What's microbiology got to do with food?" And microbiology is everything to do with food. Everything you eat, from bread to yogurt to drinks, often involve microbiology in some way. And our degrees are how to take that knowledge and that understanding and apply it in practice, and apply it further on in your career. And if you think that might be the qualification for you, and you would like to stay on in New Zealand longer term, then you would look at moving into careers such as food technologist or food process engineer, which are on the New Zealand skills shortage list. Alternatively, if you like the engineering side of things, but you'd be more interested in mechanical stuff or electronics or chemicals, then the Bachelor of Engineering with Honours might be for you. It's also a 4-year-long degree, and it's one of the more prominent qualifications we offer at Massey. It's one that I'm particularly interested in. I really like visiting the School of Engineering because whenever I go there, they always have fantastic stuff that they've produced. And part of that is because they work so closely with companies internationally and nationally. As part of the Bachelor of Engineering degree, students work for about 800 hours as an engineer with companies such as Rocket Labs, which is the space rocket agency based in New Zealand, Vodafone, which is one of the largest technology companies in the world, or Fonterra, which is the New Zealand national dairy company. And the whole point of this is nowadays we hear lots of businesses and companies complaining that they have graduates who are very well educated, but they can't do anything. And Massey's whole aim is to fix that problem, and that when our students graduate, they can start in a company on day one and start contributing to that company and start building their career. And part of that is this hands-on experience, so that even when you're studying, you're working with a company and you're thinking, how can I apply the things I'm learning into real world work? And on that note, we've got a microbiotics lab and brewery, advanced electronics and mechanical workshops. And as part of your degree, you will actually create things that can go on to be used in industry. When I was there last month, I asked the team if they had anything new and interesting to show me. And one of the students, who was one of our Master of Engineering Studies students, had invented a way to, let me get this right, to cleanly slice the pipes that pump rocket fuel into rockets. Because apparently if you get a tiny bit of dust in, it's a huge problem. So he had invented a machine that solved that problem. And it was going to be what it was going to be put out to Rocket Labs and other rocket companies in the future, and they were going to be using that in their production in the future. So if you're looking for a career in engineering, and if you're looking for a degree where you can start out in that career from day one, then Massey is a fantastic option for you. And you can see and the little careers heading there, that all the qualifications we offer at Massey lead into roles that are on the skills shortage list in New Zealand. And New Zealand is really short of qualified engineers. So if you think that's something you might be interested in, then Massey could be a great option for you. If you already have a bachelor's degree, we also offer 2 one-year masters of engineering. We've got the Master of Engineering, which is more of a research-based qualification. And then we've got the Master of Engineering Studies, which has some coursework and a little bit of research as well. Those are both 1 year qualifications. With the current post-study work rights in New Zealand, if you study a 1 year master's, you can end up with 3 years post-study work rights in which to secure a job and build your career from there. So that's also another great option if you are looking at postgraduate studies. So aside from food technology and engineering, construction in New Zealand is a really, really big industry. And our Bachelor of Construction and our Master of Construction qualifications are 2 of the most popular for international students. Our Bachelor of Construction in particular is particularly special because it's one of the few degrees that you don't need to meet the same entry requirements as you would do for engineering. So obviously engineering has very high academic entry requirements. Bachelor of Construction at Massey is slightly lower. So if you're looking to get into the construction industry and you maybe don't quite meet the requirements for engineering, the Bachelor of Construction might be something you're interested in. And you can specialize in construction management or quantity surveying. And both of those qualifications lead on to jobs on the immigration skills shortage list. In fact, the shortage for construction project managers in New Zealand is so bad that we actually have construction companies contacting the school to see if we have any graduates available to come and work with them. Yeah, I hear this is not only a problem in New Zealand, it's a problem worldwide. Many countries are desperate for qualified construction managers. So if you're interested in that area, then studying at Massey could really be a great option for you. Okay, so the final qualification area I'd like to talk about is computer science and information technology. I think everybody knows these days that computer science, software, tech, information sciences is a huge, huge growing industry in all countries. And students who are interested in computer science in particular, or information systems, and who choose to study at Massey are setting themselves up for a global career with a huge amount of options. Our degree is the only degree in New Zealand in information sciences where you can choose 5 different majors: computer science, data science, information systems, information technology, or software engineering. And it's the only degree that's professionally accredited by the Institute of IT Professionals in New Zealand. So if you're thinking about a career in IT or in software, and you're not really sure which of the various areas you want to specialize in, then this is a great option for you. You can come and study Bachelor of Information Sciences, get a taste of the different areas, and then further on down the line specialize, and then one day move into a career perhaps as a software engineer or IT security specialist. Again, as with the previous slides, these careers are on the New Zealand skills shortage list and are often in demand globally at the moment. So I can sit here and tell you guys about all these great programs we have at Massey and about all the opportunities that you have for employment in your careers after you've graduated. But anybody can say those things, and it's the numbers really that tell the story. And I'm pleased to tell you guys that graduates from Massey are lucky to have a really, really high employment rate. 82% of graduates are in full or part-time employment after they graduate from Massey. And 31% of graduates are in further study. And you'll see that if you add 31 and 82, That makes a bit more than 100, and that's because it's very common for postgraduate students to be working at the same time. Of our students who do graduate, 91% are working in New Zealand. And as I've been mentioning, New Zealand has skills shortages. Many of the Massey programs are in place to address those skill shortages. So if you're thinking longer term and you're thinking it might be interesting to see what it's like to live in New Zealand, a degree from Massey is going to open that door for you. But I think the most interesting number on that slide is that 53% of graduates were already in their job before they completed their degree. And I think that shows you how important the partnerships and the internships and the work integrated learning that we have at Massey, how important that is in helping you guys get a job at the end of your study. Much of the internships, or many of the internships we offer, much of the work you do with industry as part of your degree is kind of like an extended job interview. At many students who, let's say an engineer who has worked with Vodafone as part of their study, 53% of those are going to go on to a job in the same company that they've been doing their work experience with, which is a fantastic way to start your career. Right, so that's what Massey is like in terms of numbers. I've got a video here that gives you a little bit of a feel of what it's like to be at Massey and study at Massey. If I had the opportunity, I'd love to fly everybody over here to New Zealand and show them around in person, but we can't do that, so I've got a short video instead. So I've talked a lot about the details of some of the qualifications we offer at Massey, but I think our greatest strength is the support and the care that we offer to all our students. And that's really hard to put into numbers. It's really hard to explain that Massey is the kind of place where the lecturers will know who you are, and they'll care about you and about your success. I had a student I met in Malaysia who was very keen to come and see me when she came on campus in Auckland, and she wanted to know where my office was. And I said, look, just ask one of the staff that you see wandering around where 𝐷𝐼𝐸𝐻 International is, and they'll know who I am and they'll know where I am, because it's that kind of place. And we believe that caring for students, supporting students is key to their success, whether it's helping you guys when you arrive at the airport, or whether it's helping you find a part-time job when you're studying, or a full-time job after you finish. We have health centers on campus, full medical centers with doctors and nurses. We offer counseling services, and we have dedicated support staff for international students such as yourself. And of course, if you're studying at Massey, you're studying at one of the most fantastic countries in the world. I'm from the UK originally. I've been in New Zealand for 15 years now, and it is one of the best places I've ever been in the world. And the opportunities for you guys as international students to explore to meet new people and try new things, maybe try something you never tried before. New Zealand is a fantastic opportunity for you to travel, visit, learn, and grow as people. At Massey, we have fantastic facilities, gyms, recreation centers. Our campuses are genuinely beautiful with lots of green spaces, lots of trees, and we offer some of the best lab and workshop and simulation facilities in the world. We also offer accommodation in all 3 of our campuses. I won't talk about this too much, but we offer halls of residence in all 3 campuses, and they can either be catered, where we also cover all your meals, or they can be self-catered, where we provide you with everything to, internet and accommodation and all that kind of thing. But you've got your own kitchen, and you can cater for yourself. This is what the accommodation looks like in Auckland, where I'm based. And then we've got Palmerston North. And then finally, we've got Wellington. And if you'd like to find out a little bit more about accommodation on campus, I can give you a little bit more information about pricing, about different options, and about all those kind of things. So, tuition fees and living costs. So tuition fees vary a little bit depending on the qualification you're studying, but it works out around 30,000 New Zealand dollars a year. And then in terms of living costs, New Zealand is not the cheapest country in the world. It compares well to countries like Australia or Canada, but you're probably looking at around 20,000 New Zealand dollars a year for budgeting to live as an international student. And if you have a look at the little infographic I've put in there, there's some prices for usual things like a coffee or lunch or your food groceries per week. And as you can see, not super expensive, but not super cheap either. The good news is that international students in New Zealand have some really good work rights. If you are on a student visa, you can work up to 20 hours a week in term time. And then in the university holidays, you can work as many hours as you like. There's no limit. We do have quite a high minimum wage. The minimum wage in New Zealand is $22.70 an hour. And as I've mentioned a few times in the presentation, we have really high employment. Businesses are finding it very, very hard to get staff at the moment. So you'll find that you can get jobs offering $25, $26, $27 an hour, working in a supermarket or working in a cafe. That's not unusual. And so although our living costs are not super cheap, the money you can make from part-time work is actually quite good, and that helps balance some of that out. The other good news is that if you're on a student visa, your partner and your children may well be eligible for visas themselves. So if you have a partner, if you have a family, it is possible for them to apply for a visa and come with you. I have to recommend that you get in touch with New Zealand Immigration or talk to David, an expert education, because they're the experts on visas. I'm just going to talk about it generally. They can help you with your individual situation. But usually student visa, your partner is eligible for a work visa and your children are eligible for visas as well. If you do have children while you're studying in New Zealand, they're eligible for free education in New Zealand schools. So that's a really, really competitive offer, because you can come and study with us, your partner can come and work in New Zealand, and your children can also have a world-class education for free. And then after study, so after you've finished your qualification at Massey, you are going to usually be eligible for post-study work rights, which is up to 3 years depending on how long you studied for. If you studied a 3-year bachelor's degree, you'll be eligible for 3 years post-study work rights in most cases. But if you study a postgraduate master's degree, New Zealand will currently offer you 3 years post-study work rights, even if it's only a 1-year master's. So you can study for a year with your master's degree, and then have 3 years after your study to find a job. And again, your partner and your children will also be eligible to apply for visas. This isn't the case with many countries around the world. I know, for example, that the UK has recently stopped master's students from bringing their partner and their families with them. So I realize not everybody on this webinar will have a partner and children, but if you do, New Zealand is a fantastic option for you. So that all sounds great, right? We've got some great courses. It's a fantastic country, good opportunities to work during your study and after your study, and maybe stay in New Zealand. What do you need in order to get onto one of our qualifications? So some qualifications have more specific requirements, but generally for a bachelor's degree at Massey, you'll need to have IELTS 6.0 with no band less than 5.5. For a postgraduate degree, usually you'll need IELTS 6.5 with no band less than 6. And then for academic requirements, generally, you'll need the equivalent of 3 Cambridge A-levels or International Baccalaureate diploma with a minimum of 24 points. We'll also consider students who've completed 1 year of study at a recognized tertiary institution as well. And then for a postgraduate degree, obviously you'll need an undergraduate degree from a recognized institution. So fairly straightforward. Some qualifications have extra requirements. For example, nursing, bachelor's degree in nursing, you'll need IELTS 6.5. But generally, IELTS 6 for undergraduate, IELTS 6.5 for postgraduate, and then the academic requirements there. Well, what happens if you don't meet those requirements? The good news is there is another pathway, and I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Shirley, who's going to talk to you a little bit about the 6th college at Massey, which is Massey University College, which is the college for our pathway programs.
Thank you, Mike. That was very interesting to hear about all of the points that you mentioned about the green list, how our qualifications can help students potentially meet the occupation listed on green list, and also the range of support that we provide at Massey University. So now let me just share with you. So if you haven't got, let's say if you have completed an O-level program, a GED program, or you have completed the Myanmar high school, the local high school qualification, then you can't apply directly into the bachelor degree that Mike has just mentioned about. In this situation, you are welcome to apply into our Pathway College, where we offer the Foundation Certificate Program. We also offer Diploma in Business and Graduate Diploma in Management, and also Graduate Diploma in Marketing. We also offer English language program. Let's say if you haven't got the IELTS 6 or the 6.5 for the degree that you want to study, you're welcome to study the English language program with us as well. So our Pathway College is actually located on Massey University campus in Auckland. That also means when you are studying with us, you can access the full range of university facilities on campus. You can even apply to live on university campus accommodation. And of course, as a Pathway College provider, we will make sure that all of our students are well looked after. You get dedicated support for academic as well as your welfare while you are studying with us in Auckland. So to the next slide. So the range of programs that we offer here, the program structure, for example, students from Myanmar, after you complete the year 12, then you will have to come into our foundation program. After that, progress into the first year at Massey University. Students who have completed a year 13 in New Zealand, they can actually go straight into our 4 months accelerated foundation program or our Diploma in Business program. And for those students who have completed an associate degree advanced diploma from other home country, they may be eligible to come straight into our graduate diploma pathway program. So moving on to the next slide, I'll go in a bit details about our foundation certificate program. So let's say you have completed O-level or GED qualification or 1 year of the IB program, or even the Myanmar Diploma of Upper Secondary Education, then you can apply into this foundation certificate. The foundation program, student can complete this program in 8 months or 12 months. So we have 3 intakes in 1 year. There's 1 intake coming up next month, but there's still time for you to apply for our October intake this year. We have an October intake whereby you study 8 months, and then in next year, July, you can then start your first year bachelor's degree. So during this program, students will study 8 subjects. All you have to do is to achieve 50% pass. You pass all each one of the 8 subjects, then you can progress to the first year of the bachelor's degree. So students can use this to enter into most of the degree, only need to pass 50%. However, there are certain degrees that may have additional requirement. For example, if you wish to go to nursing, then you need to supply other documentation and also provide a higher IELTS score. If you were to apply for other programs like vet science or aviation, there is additional criteria that students also need to meet. But for generic programs, engineering, IT, business, as long as you pass, you can move on to the degree. Okay. And we have another program, which is the international, the Foundation Certificate Accelerated Program. This program is only 4 months. During this 4 months period, students will study 4 subjects. After they pass, then they'll progress to first year of the university. This program is for students who have completed like A-level or IB diploma, but the score doesn't quite meet a direct entry into the bachelor's degree. Then students can use these 4 months as a top-up to help them meet the entry requirement to the chosen bachelor's degree. Okay. Another program which is very popular at our college is the Diploma of Business. So Diploma of Business will be for students who have completed, again, A-level or IB. They want to get a diploma qualifications before they progress into the bachelor's degree, or they haven't met the direct entry to the Bachelor of Business program at Massey University, then they can study this program. So Diploma of Business, it is an 8 months program, and it is equivalent to the first year of a bachelor's degree. That also means while you're studying the Diploma of Business, you'll be in the same class. Majority of the classes, like the elective classes, are actually taken with the Massey Business School. That means you'll be studying together with the students who are in the first year of the bachelor's degree. After you complete this diploma, you'll get a diploma qualification. After that, you can straight away move on to the second year of your Bachelor of Business in most of the majors that you choose to do. And next is for the students who want to gain a postgraduate qualification at Massey University, students who are aiming for Master of Management or Master of Management with a major in marketing. So if your qualifications from the home country is not recognized or your GPA is not high enough to gain direct entry to the Master of Management program, then you can apply to study our graduate diploma. The graduate diploma program has a slightly lower academic entry requirement and also slightly lower English or IELTS requirement. So quite often we see students who don't quite meet the direct entry for master degree. This is another option for you. This program will only take you 8 months. And after you complete this 8 months program, your remaining program for Master of Management is only 1 year. So that means in total 1 year and 8 months, you can complete this master degree from Massey University. So we do offer a range of scholarship, or we call it fee waivers. So what sort of fee waivers do we offer? If you're coming to study our foundation program, the 8 months foundation program, then we offer a $5,000 fee waivers. On top of that, you can also get $1,000 early bird discount or early bird award. So altogether, it is $6,000 fee waivers. And just now, the previous slides, you would have noticed that the tuition fee for the foundation certificate is around $26,000. So after the fee waivers, it will only cost you around $20,000 to complete our foundation certificate. If you're eligible for our accelerated 4 months foundation certificate, we are also offering scholarship of $1,500 plus $1,000 early bird. And for our diploma program, again, you can get $5,000 fee waivers plus early bird, same as our graduate diploma program. So no matter what programs you're applying to study with our pathway college, any of this pathway program here, you get a scholarship or fee waivers discount. So please apply early. For most of this program, we do have an October intake this year. So all you have to do is to discuss with Expert Education which program is most suitable for you, and they will help you with your application. So
thank you, Shirley.
Back to you, Mike.
Back to me for a bit, isn't it? So it's not just Massey University College and the Pathway programs where we have scholarships. I'll talk a little bit about the scholarships we have still for 2023, but then I want to talk a little bit more about 2024 because we're doing something different. 2023, we still offer a range of scholarships, and I've put the link to the Massey scholarships website in there so you can have a look, because we have a few more than that. I've just picked a couple of an example. For example, we've got the Massey University Undergraduate Excellence Scholarship, which is $3,000 for a semester. We've also got the Massey University Masters Research Scholarship, which is $15,000 a year for when you're studying research masters. But we're not happy with the way our scholarships currently are. And for 2024, we are overhauling our scholarship program. We're looking at making sure there are more scholarships available. We're looking at simplifying the application process, and we're looking at making sure that the widest possible range of students are eligible for a scholarship. So I can't give you too many details at the moment because we're still working on that. It should be finished in the next couple of months. So keep an eye on that website there to see what we're going to be offering for 2024 in terms of scholarships. So that is the end of the presentation from me and Shirley. If anybody has any questions about Massey, about pathways, or about New Zealand, studying New Zealand, living in New Zealand in general, feel free to ask, and I'll try and answer. If I can't answer, Shirley can answer, and if neither of us can answer, we'll try and find out the answer for you and get back to you.
Thank you so much, Shirley. Thank you so much, Mike, for the wonderful presentations. So guys, this is the end of presentations. So it's time for Q&A. We'll let you unmute. So Mia, can you please let everyone unmute themselves? Okay, so there's first questions for you, Mike. Thanks,
Okay.
Mike and Charlie, for a great presentation. May I know your views on construction market and job opportunity? And after graduated Master of Construction Management course, can student work as quantity surveyor as well?
So I might answer this if you don't mind, Shirley, from my own personal perspective, because I'm just about to finish building a house. And the construction market in New Zealand is booming at the moment. You cannot get builders or anybody who works in construction for months and months and months. There's huge shortages. Construction management is particularly high demand. And if you're specializing in quantity surveying, then yep, after you finish Master of Construction Management, you can work as a quantity surveyor as well. And again, huge demand in New Zealand at the moment. Our property market has gone through the roof in the past few years, both for residential and commercial. And if I'm talking to students, whether they're domestic students or international students at the moment, I strongly recommend people going to construction.
Okay, thank you so much, Mike. So there's another question. It's in Burmese. So the question is, I think it's for Charlie. So Charlie, the question is, the student want to know, after postgraduate diploma in accounting, can they get work visa? And okay, the job opportunities for accounting roughly in New Zealand. And the third question is, to accept Duolingo, or is it only IELTS or PTE for that program? Postgraduate diploma in accounting.
Postgrad diploma in accounting.
You have that?
I'm going to have a quick look at my my detailed booklet here, just to make sure we give you the right answer. Okay. In terms of post-study work rights, for postgraduate diplomas, it's a year study, so you get 1 year post-study work rights after that.
So if a student study our graduate diploma, so just now I mentioned we offer the graduate diploma, which is a NZQF level 7 qualification. Or if you study a postgraduate diploma and for 1 year, so you only get a 1 year
Work
post-study
visa.
work visa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you are studying master or PhD. So if you do a master, even the master is only 1 year or 1.5 years, but a master qualification will then avail you for a 3 years post-study work visa.
Right.
In terms of the job market for accounting, although it's not on the immigration shortage list, it is an area where New Zealand, there is quite a high demand. A lot of New Zealanders who are qualified accountants go overseas, so there do tend to be shortages in the country. So yeah, it could be a good opportunity. Like Shirley said, if you're thinking longer term, maybe a master's is a better way to go because you do get more post-study work rights.
Thank you, Mike. So there's another question. So Massey University in Auckland is a little far from downtown. So for student, is that easy to get part-time job?
Yes, definitely. It's not too far from downtown. It's about 15 minutes drive. Auckland is quite a spread out city. So it's not unusual to travel sort of 15 minutes, half an hour to various areas in the city. The suburb where the campus is based, Albany, is one of the fastest growing suburbs in the country. And have a look on Google Maps or online because literally just across the road from the campus is one of the biggest malls in the country. And there are cafes and restaurants and shops, and they're always constantly looking for staff. We have a careers office on campus in Auckland, and there are specific websites in New Zealand and specific career services for students who are looking for part-time work. So you shouldn't have too much trouble finding part-time work at all. Even though we are not in the CBD, Auckland as a city has kind of lots of mini CBDs around, and Albany, where our campus is one of those.
Thank you. There's another question, Mike. I want to be ICT Business Analytics or ICT Project Manager. So should I go in a Department of Information System or Massey School of Business?
That is a very good question. I would suggest that the information systems direction is probably a good way to go. In terms of professional development, it's going to be more specific to the IT side of things. And you can always then combine that with postgraduate study or part-time study in the future to cover the management side of things.
Thank you. Okay, so 80% of work employment and 90% of working in NZ after graduate. Wow, I just wanted to know about for PhD because at the moment I can't afford that much of money. So how can I find my supervisor for applying study? So the student is interested to study PhD.
PhD is a slightly trickier process to talk about because of the way a PhD works. But just generally, without going into too much detail, one of the great things about studying at Massey as an international student for a PhD is international students pay the same fees for PhD as domestic students, which is a lot cheaper. We also have quite a range of scholarships available. Off the top of my head, I think up to $75,000 for PhD. In terms of finding a supervisor, the best thing to do, and I'll find a link, is to have a look on the website in what particular area you're interested in. Let's say you're particularly interested in business management. Have a look on the business school, have a look at the management school, and then you can see the staff on there and where their research interests are. And most supervisors are going to be interested in supervising someone who has who is interested in doing a project that they are familiar with, or it's one of their research areas. It's not a very straightforward process because of the way PhD research works. It's a little bit more time consuming.
Thank you, Mike. So guys, any other questions? You can unmute yourself as well. You can unmute yourself and ask in Burmese or English as well. We can translate it for you. I finished my third year in 𝐷𝐬𝐬𝐞𝐲 University of Economics. Can I directly join first year of bachelor's?
Just say that again, David. I didn't quite hear you.
Okay, so the question is, the student has finished third year of economics in 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐸 University Economics. Can I directly join first year of bachelor?
Probably. When it comes to students who already have education at a university level in their home country, we'll assess them on a case-by-case basis, but yeah, that's probably is the answer.
Thank you.
Oh, Shirley, you're on mute, Shirley.
Regarding that, most of the Australian universities, when we do, some of the universities, such as here in 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐸 University of Technology, we had some students last year, and they has finished like 4th year already here in Myanmar, and then they applied to Curtin University in Australia. So they got credit transfer, and they had to apply, or they have to study only like 2 years. So I think New Zealand education system is quite similar with Australia, so you can definitely try. So I suggest you to submit the application first, and then admission will give you the decisions on that.
Yes, actually I've seen some applications. The student have studied a few years at their local university, and they will be considered for entry, and even some may gain credit exemption. Yes. We need the syllabus, so please submit the syllabus together with the application.
Thank you. Any more questions, guys? More questions at all?
I've also provided in the chat box for Tom's answer information on PhD. So those are the few links that Tom can visit to. These are the sites where you can find the research supervisor.
Okay.
And if you
have more questions,
sorry, David, go on.
Yeah, please go on.
I was just going to say, if you have specific questions, don't be afraid to reach out to the team at Massey directly about PhDs and things. One of the best things about New Zealand is people genuinely are quite friendly and have a bit of time for you, even sort of in official capacities. It's not that unusual to ring the tax office or immigration and get through to somebody who will actually, listen to you and be able to talk through your situation. And Massey's the same. So please feel free to email, and they'll see what they can do to help.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. So there's one more questions. Okay. So can I transfer to US after I study first year in Massey University? So the student want to study first year in Massey University and then want to transfer to US.
That would depend on the US university, I think.
I think it will be based on case basis and depend on the university as well. So what you can do is you can study first year in Massey University. After you graduated from the first year, you can collect your transcript, you can collect your curriculum, and then apply to 2-3 university in US, and then they will do assessment of your application and then give you decisions. So until you submit the application, it's hard to say.
And I think if you study for a year in New Zealand, after that year, you probably won't want to go to the US. You'll just want to stay in New Zealand.
Yeah,
true.
I came to New Zealand for 6 months, and that was 15 years ago.
Wow. And then you stayed there forever now.
Stayed there forever. I will never go back to the UK. New Zealand is way better.
So you're from UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess, once you study, you work, and you live in New Zealand, you get the PR, and then you get the citizenship. The New Zealand passport does allow you to travel to many parts of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more questions, guys? Okay. I have already finished MBA. Okay. One question. I have already finished MBA International Management from Swiss Business School at 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐸 campus. Go I attend Master of Marketing at Massey directly. Any qualifications needed?
Master of Marketing. Yeah. It sounds like it. The admissions team would have to check the qualifications and the university to see whether it's one of the recognized ones. But if you already have a master's degree, you probably meet the requirements for the master's degree with us as well. But they just have to check and make sure.
Yeah, thank you. So what you can do is, I think you can send me your CV, or you can send me your qualifications to me. I will share my number soon. So I'll check all the information. I will talk to Charlie and Mike, and then I will get back to you on that. Yeah. Okay, there's one more question. Does refusal visa in Australia affect applying in Massey University and NZ visa?
That might be a question you're better at, David, than us.
Yeah, so I think for visa, I think it's not an issue, because we had recently some student who has refused from Australia, and one of the students, they even got visa within 40 days. he has refused from Australia, he has applied to New Zealand and got a visa in 14 days. And I think if you have a proper documentations and all the required documents, I think it doesn't matter either if you have refusal from Australia or any other country. If you are a genuine student, they will definitely give you visa. They will never refuse just because you are refused from Australia. They will directly refuse you in New Zealand. It's not going to happen. So if you have a genuine documents, you submit you choose the right course, you submit the genuine documents, and you prepare properly and submit the visa. I think there's a lot of chance, because we have a lot of students recently who is applying to Australia after New Zealand after Australia refusal, and they are getting visa. So I think it's not an issue.
Fantastic. And I'm sure David and everybody else expert will be able to guide you through the whole process too.
Any more questions, guys?
You guys have had the best questions for webinars that I've done for a while, actually. It's awesome. Sometimes we say questions and nobody says anything, so thank you.
Yeah, today webinar, we have a lot of interactive questions, you know. I do back-to-back. Within this month, I think I already done like 10 webinars. In some webinar, we don't even have questions.
Everybody on this webinar
so
just must be particularly well-educated and intelligent people, I think.
Yeah. So I think no more questions. So is there anything you want to say to Myanmar student Mike or Charlie?
Yes, everyone, I know that because for Kaplan, we have colleges in Australia as well. So we know in the last year, it has been very difficult for Myanmar students to secure visa for Australia. So now we have another option for you, which is Massey University in New Zealand. And I would like to welcome you all to apply to our college here and university at New Zealand. Like David says, the visa process is much more streamlined and easier for students from Myanmar. And at Massey University, to be honest, we don't have a lot of Myanmar students. We do like to increase our student population, student diversity. So we really, really want to welcome you to our campus across New Zealand, whether it be in Auckland, Palmerston North, or Wellington.
Thank you, Charlie. So that's okay. Last questions. Okay, hello, sir. I was wondering to know if I could have a chance to transfer my final year to study in Massey. Okay, I think for that question, so like New Zealand education system is quite similar to UK and Australia. So we have a lot of cases recently. The student is in final year in Myanmar, and then they transfer to UK or Australia, and they got credit transfer for their similar subject. So what I suggest is collect all your academic documents, all the till final year, all the transcript and the course syllabus as well, and reach out to me. I will share my Bible number here, and then I will submit the applications to the Massey University, and then they will do the assessment and give you the answer, you know. So I think there's high chance, but I cannot guarantee because it's up to the admission team. So I think, but you should definitely give it a try. Okay, I will share my number here.
Yes, guys, definitely give it a try. I have had a few students from Myanmar who have been given credit exemption. It is depending on the program that you have studied and how close it is to the program that you wish to pursue at Massey University. So please submit your transcript and the syllabus of your curriculum to David. Please contact David for any inquiries, and then he'll pass it on to us as quick as possible to get you the answer.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. Okay, so all right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining with us today. I hope this session will be very informative for you. And we look forward to receiving applications from you for Massey University. If you have any question, I just put out my number here in the chat box. You can reach out to me on Viber, or you can call me directly as well. So anytime, just reach out to me from Massey University. Thank you once again. Thank you, Charlie, and thank you, Mike.
Thank you, David. And
thank you, David.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. Thank you.